Hey everyone, it's Charlie Morgan and welcome to another video. Today's a quick one. I wanted to give you a metaphor for running an agency, right? One that if you just understanding this and putting this into visual format will actually help you understand the importance of appointment booking. Now, you obviously understand that appointment booking is quite important, right? However, what happens is a lot of people don't actually take action towards appointment booking. They know they should, but they delude themselves into not doing that. And this delusion really contributes to a lot of pain in their business because they know they need to do something, but they're not doing it. And they're like, why am I not doing it? This pisses me off, and it upsets them more than actually not getting appointments, is not taking action to get appointments. And so I want to give you a quick metaphor to basically just sort of say, when you're in that position where you don't want to do the work, just remember this, and you'll probably want to do the work. So when you're starting an agency, or when you have an agency, it's kind of like, imagine that you're stranded on a desert island. Right, you've been dropped off in the middle of the ocean, and maybe you're stranded you're just stranded, right? You've got nothing. There's a desert island with some, trees and fish, and you might have seen the film Castaway, example like that. Now, the thing to understand is that running an agency is like being on a desert island, and what that means is, if you ask any survival expert, and you ask them, hey, what are the main priorities when you get on a desert island? Well, like, if you're stranded, the first priority is water, because without water we die within a couple of days. And then it's food, because without food we die. And then it's shelter, because without shelter we're exposed to the elements and we're more likely to die. And I want you to sort of realise that water and food and shelter, this translates into business to appointments, right? Appointments are literally like oxygen. They are like appointments to a struggling agency is like water to a dehydrated strandy, right? And obviously it's not as extreme, and you're not actually going to pay the consequence of dying, right? But your business will. So I see this all the time where, I'm talking to clients, or I'm talking to people who want to start an agency or have one. And like, if you were stranded on an island, the first thing you would systemize, or the first thing that you'd become consistently good at doing, is feeding yourself and finding sources of water so you can drink and eat, so you can actually go off to do bigger level tasks. So I had one of our clients, he's an awesome guy, and he's probably watching this. You might know who I'm talking about. If you're watching this, you'll know who you are. And he was asking me about my agency skeleton that I map out on Trello and all the SOPs that we have. And he had good intentions with that, right? Because he wanted to sort of understand our SOPs and how we operate the agency and like how we build these systems. And I was like, okay, well, how many appointments have you booked in the last month? And he was like, 2. And I was like, okay, well, your focus should not be on fancy Trello SOPs for back-end operations or for hiring. Because focusing on stuff like that. So I see people who get into the agency space, right? And the first thing they do is they build a website, and then they get business cards, and then they start building a personal brand. And then, they start doing all of this silly stuff, right? Like, building a personal brand in the long term will generate you appointments. But it's like going onto the island to build a trap that's going to take 2 months to catch food. By the time it's caught the food, you're dead, right? And that's what building a personal brand is, if you haven't got a consistent flow of appointments. People delude themselves and think, I'm going to get leads to come to me. I'm going to build my Facebook group, or I'm going to start doing YouTube. But these are strategies that take, there's a delayed gratification. The second order consequence takes a while to come back around and start feeding you. And if you build that on an island and it takes a month, then you're dead within a week, right? So the only real way to do it is get yourself down to the fucking beach and start harpooning fish. And that's what outreach is. And it's not fun, it's grueling work, but at least you get to eat, and at least it keeps you alive or afloat. And so I was saying to this guy, hey man, look, going and trying to build fancy Trello boards and SOPs for a team that doesn't exist, or a website for an agency that doesn't even exist yet, is like landing on a desert island, and then the first thing you do is you try and build a map. You just, when you think about it like that, it just kind of doesn't make any sense, right? Because it doesn't matter, right? What matters is your immediate biological needs, and you have to address those, otherwise you'll die, right, on the sand. You're not going to get in there and think, oh, you know what, I'm gonna make myself a nice t-shirt to keep my morale boosted, which is what most people do with fucking business cards, right? I've scaled to 7 figures, I don't even have a business card, we don't even have a fucking website, right? We focus on feeding ourselves, because all I want to do is eat, right? And then you can focus on high level activities like mapping out the island, or building systems, or building a boat to get off the island, right? Which is obviously selling the business, for example. But you can't do these things until you've got your basic biological needs met. So I wanted to just record this video to give you a metaphor to drill point the home of, drill point the home? To drill, sorry, it's early on a Saturday. I'm in London right now. I just thought I'd record the video. Drill the point home, right? The appointment booking and outbound appointment booking is the most essential and crucial task to your business, because even if you're in a position now where you've got lots of clients, right, and you know you've got lots of food if you'd like, it's like being on an island and you've got a stockpile. When winter rolls around, you're fucked, because if you haven't got a system to continue to generate new food, what you've currently got will perish or leave, or you know, if you've got loads of clients now but you sort of fool yourself into not doing outreach because you've got clients now, then long term down the line you're going to really pay the price for that, right? So, you know, even like I see this before where people do outreach with us and then they'll sign like 10 clients and they'll make an extra like 15, 20 grand a month in their agency, and then they stop doing outreach, and then like 3 months later they're back to square one, and I'm like, come on man, like what did you expect? You know, you can go fishing on the island for as much food as you want, but if you leave that fish in a cave and salt it, maybe it's only going to last like a few weeks, and then you need to fish again, and if you're not consistently topping it up. So outreach needs to become this sort of daily activity. It doesn't have to be done by you in the long term, but in the short term, you know, you can't hire a VA to go fishing for you, right? You've got to get your own fish and feed yourself, and then you can start trying to find fishermen or something. So yeah, that's everything from me. And I thought I would record this video because it's a message a lot of people need to hear. So yeah, if you want to, you can subscribe. If you like the video, you can like it, because that trains YouTube's algorithm to show you other videos that are useful. And also, if you've got any YouTube recommendations for me, any sort of videos you want to see, just drop a comment. And then in the link in the description, there will be 2 links. One will take you through to a page where you can learn more about how we help agencies thrive on the island, right? And the second one will take you through to a Facebook group that you can join, where you can get more free content like this to basically just help you grow your agency. For full transparency, both of those links, long term, we intend on having you as a client. I'm not going to pretend that it's like this, oh yeah, insane free value forever. Like, you know, we are going to try and sell you something eventually, but our strategy for doing that is to give you so much for free that you think, well, kind of makes sense to work with these guys because they've actually helped me get so far. So that's everything. See you in the next video. Cheers.